happy to be here with another video on Cavalier poets. In the literature of any age, there are two distinct tendencies. The first one expresses the dominant spirit of the times. The second one is all about a secret or an open rebellion. So in the age of Milton, that is from 1625 to 1680, comprising of the Caroline and the Commonwealth age, much was written by writers in order to promote either of the two conflicting parties, the Puritans and the Cavaliers. So in the age of Milton, side by side along with the serious and rational Puritan lived the gallant and trivial Cavalier. And the Puritans, they found expression in the best poetry of the time, that is from John Donne to John Milton, and also in the prose pieces of Baxter and John Bunyan. Likewise, on the other hand, we have the Cavalier poets, who are a small group of poets about whom we will be dealing with in this video. Before going into the Cavalier poets, let me also explain the importance of English Civil War. So the English Civil War was a series of English civil war which involved two parties, parliamentarians and the royalists. So the parliamentarians were otherwise called as Roundheads and the royalists were otherwise called as Cavaliers. So as mentioned earlier, the English Civil War that took place in 1642 to 1651 was a series of civil wars, and the outcome of this English Civil War are as follows: the trial and the execution of Charles I, and the exile of his own son Charles II, and replacing the English monarchy with that of the Commonwealth of England. So these are the outcomes of this English Civil War. So as mentioned earlier, Caroline age is a part of the age of Milton. So in this Caroline age, we have two sets of poetry. One is metaphysical poetry, the other one is Cavalier poetry. The very term Cavalier, it stands for someone who fought on the side of the king. So the Cavalier poetry, it actually emerged during the 17th century, and the Cavalier poetry, the term, it stands for the school of poets who actually supported King Charles I. And just because Charles I was someone who supported the poets who ever created art, and these poets, they in turn grouped themselves as Cavalier poets along with the king, and thus becoming the Cavalier poets. The strongest influence upon these Cavalier poets was Ben Jonson. So that doesn't mean that the Cavalier poets and the Sons of Ben are almost the same, but because Sons of Ben is an umbrella term, and it just means that Cavalier poets are one among the Sons of Ben. Now let me also explain some of the key characteristics of Cavalier poetry. The sole intent of Cavalier poetry was to glorify the crown, the king or the queen, and thereby it led to the celebration of monarchy, and so they had to speak straightforwardly against the parliamentarians. And the Cavalier poetry consisted of poems that dealt with trivial and gallant themes like love and war. Cavalier poetry resembles the philosophy carpe diem, which means seizing the day. Cavalier poetry drew knowledge from poets like Horace, Cicero and Ovid, and this poetry also centered on simple pleasures of life. Now comes the important part of this video. I have listed here the Cavalier poets: Robert Herrick, Richard Lovelace, Sir John Suckling, Thomas Carew. The first one is Robert Herrick. Robert Herrick was born in England and he was educated at Cambridge University. He is called as the true Cavalier poet, and he is best known for his works like Noble Numbers, Hesperides, and these two are collection of shorter poems. And Robert Herrick's poems are all about English country life, its seasons, the customs of English villages, and he also was severely influenced by John Johnson and the classic writers, and so in his works we could see some religious tint. And the message in Herrick's poems is life is short, the world beautiful, and love splendid. And so Herrick was called by Swinburne as the greatest songwriter ever born of English race. The next one is Richard Lovelace. So Richard Lovelace also was educated at Oxford University, and he started writing when he was a student at Oxford itself, and his very first work was a drama, The Scholars. So his other famous works are To Lucasta and To Althea. To Lucasta and To Althea, they both are simple yet they are sincere works. So To Lucasta was written in the year 1642, and To Althea was written during his first imprisonment in the year 1642. Next we have Sir John Suckling, who was reputed for his careless gaiety and wit. And it was John Suckling who invented the card game called as Cribbage. And actually John Suckling was also educated at Oxford University, and he is also called as the Cavalier of the Romances and the Restoration Plays. And his best known poem is Ballad Upon a Wedding, and Fragmenta Aurea, the selections. It was also a collection written by Sir John Suckling. Finally, we have Thomas Carew. He was a courtier, and he was also called as the inventor of Cavalier love poetry, and because his poems had a peculiar combination of some sensual and religious lyrics. His most important work, Esquire, it involved themes like love, lovemaking, and feminine beauty. And Thomas Carew is the author of the most erotic poem of the 17th century titled A Rapture, and the most accomplished of the Caroline masques, Colloquium Britannicum, was written by Thomas Carew. So that's all about the Cavalier poets. Thank you for listening.